Okay, here we go. So we're gonna build a calorie counter app. So if you want to count your calories, you can do it yourself, your own app, don't have to pay. And this is gonna reinforce a few JavaScript concepts. It will take input, so it will take that input and it will validate that the input is correct, and it will use that input to make calculations in the back end, and then give you an output. How to do all of that with JavaScript, and this lab is gonna walk us through it. We're gonna start coding. This is how it's gonna look towards the end. Build your own calorie counting app. So we're gonna go step by step. This one already provides our HTML and the CSS. So if you are still new on the HTML and CSS, then I would recommend you follow some of the other tutorials, because we're literally just gonna be using JavaScript. Or everything else, well, we're gonna do some other stuff, but you should already know HTML and CSS, familiarity with it for this one. So let's get to it. Let's see. In this project, you learn to create a calorie counter form that enables users to input the daily calorie budget and the calorie counts of various meals. The form will then calculate and display whether the user is in a calorie deficit or surplus. You have been provided with boilerplate CSS and HTML. However, you need to build your own calorie counter form. Okay. Feel free to explore HTML and CSS, then add a form element and give it an ID set to calorie counter. Okay, so we're gonna add our own form. So it does go through a little bit of what call it, HTML. So we're gonna do form, and we're gonna add the ID calorie counter. Oh my god, calorie counter form. Okay, let's see. We passed. Step one, achieve. In your form, users will be able to input a number which represents their daily calorie budget. Okay, create a label for, what are we gonna do for set the attribute to budget. Okay, so the label is gonna have the text budget, then create the input. All right, let's close the label. Gotta warm up. Okay, create an input. Okay, right there you go, input with the ID of it has to be budget. Yep, budget. The input is a, yeah, it's a 1, doesn't have a closing tag. Okay. Your input element needs some additional attributes. Give it a type. Okay, what type do you want? Oh yeah, forgot the closing tag. Type number. Yeah, that means that's input validation. So it's gonna make sure it's a number with a minimum attribute of 0. Okay, 0 to only allow positive numbers, and a placeholder. You got it, sir. Placeholder. Hold on. Equals to daily calorie budget. There you go. That's right there. Coming along little, but oh, it has to be required. Ooh. Element require. You need to put your calories in or it won't work. In your form, users should have the capability to add various meal types along with their calorie counts. Okay. A field set element with the ID. Okay, just forgot. Oops. Field set. Oh no, went too high. Went too. Okay. Field set with ID of breakfast. Now we're talking breakfast. You gotta break that fast. Within the element, okay. We're gonna close that field set. Field set. That's the thing. Most HTML elements have an open and closer, step input and image and stuff like that. A meta. Within that element, create a legend. Okay, legend. This is so we know the little with the text breakfast. Right there. You see, it says bam breakfast. And an empty div in div with a class. Okay, an empty div inside. Okay, div with a class input container. Oh yes, an empty div. You see, close that div. Okay, bam. Next, create a field set with the element launch. Oh, now we're talking. Now we are talking. Field set and ID. Oops. Oops. ID launch. Now are we talking? An element. Okay, yeah. Field set. Field set. And then we're gonna do what a legend. Yeah, legend. Legendary. Legendary. Legend. And then we're gonna add a div with the class of same thing, input. I should have copied that input container. You would have thought after a month or so, I would have already had this Japanese keyboard all figured out. You thought wrong. Containing. Okay, continuing the pattern, create a field set. Okay, yeah. Field set, and then what is it? ID? Yeah, ID dinner. Dinner. You always had to have your dinner. And then same thing, legend. And then it would be what dinner? Up, wrong one. Legendary. Why is the field set not propagated? Because this. There you go. And then a div. And we can just copy that div, to be honest. This is a very important part of learning. You just reuse code as long as it's verified. Bam, bam, bam. All right, so what is it? You need two more field sets blocks, one for snacks and one for exercise. And this is when you go like this. Reuse code, my friend. You already know what you're gonna do two more of that. Bam. Just go like that. Bam. And then one for snacks. 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 And then one for exercise. My God, they thought of everything for exercise. Stop exercise. You see, they're doing input validation to make sure that I make it capital. When users want to select a meal type to input their calorie counts, they should be presented with a drop-down menu and a button to add the meal button, the meal type. Okay. When users want to select a meal type, okay, meal type to input their calories, they should be presented with a drop-down menu and button to add the meal type. Start by creating a div, okay? Assign it a class of controls. Then next, okay, a span. So we're gonna do span inside. Then div. So this is the control. Wait. Class. This is a perfect example of input validation. My input was wrong. They validated it was wrong. In your spam element, create a label for an entry dropdown. Label for an entry dropdown. You got it. Label Does it have any? Well, we'll find out later. And give it a test at food, food, or exercise, or exercise. Label. Then create a select element with the ID. Okay. Select ID of entry drop down. And a name set to options. So options will be options, right? Options will be name. I don't remember that portion of, let me see. No, so I would have to double check how they do that. Below, okay, select ID, right? I will say in the selection and a name set to options. Oh no, this is here, a name. So yeah, name, forgot options, and then this stays out of here. And then below that add a button. So just below the selection, yeah, add a button entry. Okay, so yeah, below that we have the button element type. Give your type element type attribute set to button. Button. Prevent automatic form submissions. Okay, button. Button element with the ID add entry. Add entry and then has the ID. ID of add entry. We gotta close this button. The new label element should have a, oh, okay, label element for an entry drop down. This one. For entry drop down. Can I review my HTML? Ooh, yes, definitely have to review my HTML. Your select menu needs options for each of the food and exercise field sets. Elements you created in the previous steps. Use the option element, so that is, yeah, to create new option, a new option for field set. The value attribute of each option should be an ID, should be the ID of the field set. And the text of each option should be the text of the legend. Set breakfast and all that, okay. Okay, so in the selector, add a food. So over here, not select, over here, we'll have an option. Let's just do this first. Option. And they say you will need for each field set, for each of them, right? The value of each option should be the ID of the field set, so the ID. So we go up here and we get the ID for breakfast. It's right here, so it should be this. So just literally it'll be lunch, breakfast, dinner. Okay. So the value for the option is just gonna be this breakfast. Yeah, there you go. And then we just repeat this a few times. Tin, breakfast, lunch, dinner, then snacks and exercise. Next. Yes, sir. Sir. Okay, so even though I haven't done HTMLs for a while, you should have the text capital. More input validation. Haven't done CSS for a little while. It's still coming back. I have to review it. That's part of learning and becoming good at it. But you can always look up stuff. So, oh, the value attribute. Okay, we gotta give it a value too. So the value, so it passes that value. And then this one is gonna be without the capital. Breakfast. Now we're gonna copy this. Ips option value. And actually, we probably should copy without anything. Let me just put it here. Why is called the lazy coder? Code there? Actually, not lazy coder, but smart coding. Launch. It's not write it. Did it probably faster. Snacks. Exercise. There you go. Your first option should be selected by default. Wow, this is little by little. So this will be default. Is that? Forgot how you do that. It should be selected by default. I forgot what the default. All right, we're gonna look it up, and this is what you do. And default options CSS. Multiple select can have more than one option, so we must default input that. That's not what I was looking for. Okay, let's look into this. Oh, so you in the CSS you put it default. Yeah, but which one is default? Radius and string value. Oh, checked. So checked is, but when it's not checked, it's selected. Selected will be the one. Let's find out selected. Selected. Yeah, we see. So even though I didn't see, it just remind me, jog my memory. Checked is for the radio, but selected is for when you have the drop down. Okay, create another div within the nested button. So form. So it should be within. Create another div. Oh no, within it. Nest a button to submit. Okay. Apparently no IDs or anything. Within it, to another button. Should have the text, the button ID set to clear. Okay. Don't forget to give it a type. On what type do I give it? To prevent it from submitting. So type what button? Prevents it from submitting the form. Okay. This button has the text. Clear. This button should have the text calculate remaining calories. Okay, two buttons. Okay. So let's do another one over here. Button to submit. Okay. Type submit. No ID. Then it should just have calculate remaining calories, then button. So now we have two buttons. Yep. Ha 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 ha. Clip. Excuse me. Your form needs somewhere to display the results. Okay. And an empty div, ID of output. That makes so much sense. And a class of output. My God, we are just innovating. Class of output and height. Okay, output, height. Finally, you need to link your JavaScript to your HTML. Create a script, okay? Script element to do so. Source, and what was it? Script.js. And that was it. Yep, I think that's all it is. It doesn't have two, right? Yeah. You should have a script element. Element should have a source. Oh, it's that. It's this. Forgot. Because it's relative path. Path. A relative path. .js. You should have a script element. Yeah. src. Yeah. Set to script.js. Yes. Script element. And my script element has that. Right? Mm-hmm. How, how have I forgotten such a simple little thing? What is it? Two? Nah. Really? Wow, it's two. Huh. Isn't that surprising? So why would you have? Oh, because you have to put all the code. No, no, because it would be differently. So why would it say two? That is that is so crazy. Forgot why it does that. I'm gonna have to re-study that. Okay, 14. Start writing the script that makes your form work. To access an HTML element with a given ID name, you can use the getElementById method. Here's how it is. Okay, first, why we get okay. So like this. Got it. Begin by creating the form element using the ID and storing it in a variable called calorie counter. So we wanna get okay constant. We're gonna get calorie. So we're gonna get the whole form. Okay, counter, and then we got document using the DOM get element by ID, and which element we getting? The what was the ID? That's why they had this. Where is the form? I opened it over here. Okay, first you're gonna get out of here to make it easier on me. Form calorie counter. Okay, then close, and then you open. Then we put you over here. Bam, and then okay. Don't forget you need to be in commas with this and this. Oop, no, that's not the one I was looking for. There you go. Document calorie. Yep, calorie. Calorie counter. My God, calorie counter. Calorie counter. Yeah. Constant calorie counter. That's what I wanted. Equals document dot get element by ID. Okay, yeah, that's what I did. You really want just single quote? No, no way. No way. Really? You don't need this? Oh, so it's only when you do all elements, when they select element. Okay, okay, get element. Oh, when it's already specified by ID, you don't need the hat. Okay, that's what you learn by doing. Get your budget element and assign it the budget number input. Got you. Constant uh, budget number input. Should it be a constant since it changes? We're gonna find out. Document dot get element by ID. Then we're gonna get budget. We're gonna get the budget. We're gonna get the budget. You should declare. Okay. Get your budget element and assign it to the whatever. And your entry element. Okay. We're gonna do constant entry drop down. Get the document. Whoa. Okay. Yeah. Oh, brain fart. Document. Get element by ID. And from there, we're gonna entry drop down. Following the same pattern, assign the add entry element. So we're just getting all the IDs. Okay. Constant to add entry button. Document get element by ID. Get element by ID. Then clear. Oops. To clear button and your output. Oh no, we gotta add entry. Constant clear button. By ID. And then we're gonna get clear, yep. Clear. We're gonna do all of them, I guess, yep. Constant output. No, the clear button. Okay, yeah, output. Got confused there. Oh my god. Output. Document dot get element by ID. Then get the output. Declare variable name is error. Okay. Is error. Oh, we're gonna declare a variable. Is error. Using let, okay. Initialize it with false, allowing it for reassignment later. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. To false. Later on the project, you will update the value of is error if the user provides an invalid input. Okay. All right. Not a problem. Okie dokie. My God. Here we go. acquire skill faster. Yeah. After all of this is done, we go through the whole JavaScript. We're gonna do the lab live to get the certification. Ha, ha, ha. When the user inputs their daily calorie input budget, the input field will only accept numerical values. However, if a number is entered with a plus or minus sign, you will need to remove those characters, okay? Start by declaring a clean input string function that takes a string parameter. A clean input, okay. Function, clean input string that takes a string as a parameter, okay? Values from an HTML input field are received as strings in JavaScript, okay? You need to convert the strings into numbers before performing any calculations. Convert strings values into numbers will be covered in a future step, okay? So when you input a number, it gets converted as a string, and to do calculation, you're gonna convert it into a number. So just use the number element, the number thing, okay? That's not too hard, but we'll get to it. To match specific characters in a string, you can use regular expressions. Ooh, I love regular expressions. Or rigits for short. Rigits in JavaScript is indicated by a pattern wrapped in forward slashes. The following example will match the string literal hello. Yes. Okay. Declare a rigid variable and assign it with the value from the example above. In future steps, you will update this rigid pattern to match specific characters needed for the calorie counter. Okay. Declare as rigid. Okay. Oop, no, that's not what I meant to do. Constant. Oh yeah, because we're not changing in the function. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. My God, I need my back. Congratulations, your code submitted is extraordinary. You get a job at $100,000 a month. The current pattern will match the exact text hello, which is not the desired behavior. Instead, you want to search for plus, minus, or spaces to place the pattern in your research variable with, okay, to match plus, minus. So instead of this, so that when it's like that, it matches the specific stuff. When you want to match just one thing, plus minus, to match plus minus character. Note that you need to use this character to escape the plus minus symbol because it has a special meaning in regular expressions. Okay, so, okay, okay, wait, hold on. So, yeah, so you still need this. We're just using that one to escape the meaning. Got you! My God! In rigid shorthand characters classes allow you to match specific characters without having to write those characters in your pattern. Shorthand characters classes are preceded with a backlash. I remember that this means backlash, this means forward. Okay, back forward. The character class will match any spaces character. Add this to your widgets. So add it. So how do I add it? You escape that. You just add it like this. Then S, or do I just put a comma? I think a comma. No, it matches commas then if I do that. Oh, you just put it in there all together. Man, to think I went to school. You forget if you don't use it. Your current patterns won't work just yet. Looks for plus minus and a space in order. This will match plus minus hello, but will not match plus hello. To tell the pattern to match each of these characters individually, you need to turn them into a character class. This is done by wrapping the characters you want to match in brackets. For example, this pattern will match the characters hello. H E. Okay, So we put everything in an array and it will turn, you got it. So what is it called though? To tell the pattern to match this character. You need to turn them into a class character. So it's called a class character. Class character, okay. Fancy that. Fancy user. I would just say an array. I don't know why you changed name. Oops. You should not escape the plus character in your regular expression. Oh, you don't escape it if you put it like that? Because you made it into a class? Okay, so if you make the class character, aka array, within the expression, the regular expression, you don't need to escape it. Okay. Regions can also take specific flags to alter the pattern matching behavior. Flags are added after the closing tag. The G flag, which stands for global, will tell the pattern to continue looking after it has found a match. Okay. Add the G flag. Okay, so it will look for all. So not just one. GG, GG, G.I. Joe. JavaScript provides a dot replace method that enables you to replace characters in a string with another string, okay? This method accepts two arguments. The first argument is the character sequence to be replaced, which can be a string, or a rigid pattern. The second argument is the string that replaces the match sequence, okay? Since strings are immutable, the replace method returns a new string with the replaced characters. Got it? In this example, the replace method is used to replace all instances of the letter L with the number 1 in the hello. Okay, let's look into this. So yeah, this just looking specifically for L, but all of the L's and change. Okay, I understand that. Use 3 is to replace all instances of plus minus and space in a string with an empty string. So we have this is to and space all answer. So we have the regions. We use this variable to replace specifically. So then we're gonna do in the string str dot replace, then we open sesame and we give it this first, right? Yeah, this first is the first thing, and the second one we're gonna, what is it that they wanted to replace with? That's with an empty string. So just empty like that, okay? And then we gotta close it. Oh, genius. Never mind, not genius. You should pass rigid as the first argument to replace. Oh, okay, you want it separated, you want it out, okay. Got you. That makes a little sense. Yep. So you want to pass region. So over here, str dot replace, and then you want to pass regions first, okay, and then just the empty string. Okay, that's a little cleaner code. I'm all for cleaner code. Oh, you wanted to return this value. Okay, yeah. Ding, 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 ding. Now it is time to test out your clean input string function. Inside your clean input string function, add a console.log inside. Clean input string, okay. Oh yeah, just excuse me. We're already here with two arguments. Okay, the first argument should be the string original. Wait. Now it's inside you can add a console log with two arguments. Original string, and the second should be str parameter. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, that's what it did. Original. Oh my god. To see the results from the clean input string function, you will need to add a console.log statement. Okay, clean input. Where are we? Okay, what is it? To see the results from the clean input string. Clean input string. Okay, you will need to add. It's close. Okay, you need to add this inside that console statement. Okay, so you will just call it from the outside. Okay, so .log inside you put a clean input string. Inside a console statement with the string value plus minus 99. Do I just put it in the string? Plus minus 99? No. Oh, but yeah, this needs to. Whoops. Original string is negative 99. It did not remove. Uncalled type error. str.replace is not a function. What do you mean str.replace is not a function? We already passed it. This is part of the test? No, okay. Okay, so you do want this, you want it in a string format. Okay, so yeah, you want it string. Once you have finished testing your clean input string function, you can remove both of your console statement. Okay. Yep. Ding. Both of my console statement. What do you mean both? You want me to remove this one? Okay. In your HTML, number inputs allow for exponential notation such as 1e. Okay. You need to filter those out. Okay. Start by creating a function is valid input. Filter those out because you want. Okay. Function is invalid input. You trying to trick me, but you couldn't. So take a single string parameter. Declare a regex variable and assign it a regex that matches the character. Okay, declare a regex variable. Oh no, we're gonna make it constant because it's not gonna change. Regex. Assign it a regex that matches the character E. Bing, character E. Are we gonna make it global? We're gonna make it global. Just because it's gonna find all the E. The E in a number input can also be an uppercase. Frigid has a flag for this. However, the I flag, which stands for insensitive, the regex above will match hello, 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 hello. Because the I flag, this flag makes your parent case insensitive. And we're gonna add the I. Okay, so you don't want global, you just want the I. Number inputs only allow the E to occur between two digits. To match any number, you can use the characters class. This will match any digit between 0 and 1. Add this class before and after E in your pattern. Before and after E. Oh, because, okay, yeah, you want it specifically for numbers. Got you. So from 0 to 9, you're looking for that E. And then after from 0 to 9, you're looking for that E again. Starting to understand this widget selection thing. The plus modifier in a widget allows you to match a pattern that occurs one or more times. To match your digit pattern one or more times, add a plus after each of the digit character class. Oh, but the plus modifier really allows you to match a character that occurs one or more times. So if I go like this, and then I go like this, it's telling me that it could have a number from that term more than one time. One or more times. So if it has the 1, 2, it will add it. Okay. Oh, you added the modifier. Do I separate it? No. It's not scaled. So plus modifier to the character class after E. Yeah, I did after E. Let me see if I remove this one. Okay, you should add a plus modifier class before E. Yeah, I did that. Before E. After E. E plus. Oh, okay. Maybe over here. Oh, that's what that means. You gotta put it after. So look for that after. Got it. There is a shorthand character class to match any digit. Replace your 0 to 9 character class with the shorthand. Oh my god. So why in the world? Guess you want to show me multiple ways to do something. Just kidding. I like it. I like it. D for digits. Give it a little D. Oops. Strings have a dot match method which takes a rigid argument. Okay. Dot match will return an array of match results containing either the first match or all matches if the global is used. Okay. Sample string. You're looking for example widgets. Returns example in an array. Okay. Return the result of calling that match on method on string and passing your rigid rejects variable as the argument. You'll use this match later on. Okay. So you want me to return the str.match passing the rejects. Okay. That's all you want. That's the argument. And you only want it once. Okay. The first time you have an E with numbers on both sides. Now it's time to test the function. For this test, you want to check if the function can detect scientific notation like 1E3 or 10E2. While this is a valid way to represent numbers, it is not a valid input for your calorie counter project. Below is your function and a console statement. Static some call is invalid input, okay, of 1E3. Oops, 1E3. My God. Uncast reference error. Console is not defined. Console is not defined. What are you talking about? Oh, console, not console. Console. It's Spanish. That was Spanish, you see? AI is not going to replace us. It does not know Spanish. When you open the console, you should receive this result. Yeah. In the zero input, return groups undefined. Yes, it calls that and it returns index at zero. Okay. An array with any values found in the string. Yeah. It's a match value against that. Okay. Index 0 is the index of the match value in the string in the 0. Input is the original string that was matched. Okay. Groups are the match groups which are not used in this case. You will learn more about groups in later projects. Okay. My thing is dying. My hold on, don't leave. I have the plug. I will save your computer. I'll save all of us in this lecture that I'm not giving and just following. But gotta do something. Now it is time to test for a valid input. Update your console. The following is valid 10. No. One thing though, it's valid. It's just taking the string. Okay. Submit. No. When you open the console, you should see the result of null. The match method returns null when no match is found. In this case, the is invalid input function should return null when the input is a valid number without any specific scientific notation. Null in JavaScript is a special primitive that represents the intentional absence of a value. In a Boolean test, null is considered falsy, which evaluates to false in a conditional statement. Now, and false as a number is what, 0 or 1? Yeah. Now you have finished testing the whatever, you can remove the whatever. Okay, a little more for that. Tororom, 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 tororom. Yes, support, always support. Now you need to retrieve the value of entry dropdown dot value to get the selected option from the dropdown. Kind of confused me there. Okay. Print entry dropdown dot value to the console to see its value. Okay. Since entry dropdown dot value is in a static context outside of an event listener, it should only show the value at the moment the code runs. This means it will automatically update as the user interacts with the dropdown. It will capture the initial value, in this case breakfast, and won't reflect any changes. So you want print. So print console.log entry dropdown.value breakfast. Okay. entry dropdown, because entry dropdown was the entry dropdown whatever, and which one was entry dropdown in our CSS, in our HTML. Controls is just the controls. Yeah, so it's that. Okay, entry dropdown and select it. It will just take that. Okay, got you. That was just this over here, and it's selected breakfast by default. Okay. Now you have finished testing the value of the entry dropdown value. Okay. You can remove the console statement. Your next. Okay. So we made it into an object and would match the value. Okay. Your next step is to allow users to add entries to the calorie counter. Declare an empty function. Okay. Add entry. Should take any parameters. Okay. You need to know which category the entry goes in. Thankfully, you added a drop-down for the user to select a category. Okay. Remember that you queried that dropdown earlier in your JavaScript, assigned it to the entry dropdown. Yes. You can use the value property to get the value of the selected option. Use the concatenation to add that to the beginning of the value, the entry dropdown. Assign that result to a target ID. Okay. Let's see. Let's think about this one. So remember that you queried the dropdown. Yes, we have the dropdown. So we have entry dropdown, right? So we have label entry dropdown, and we have a selection entry dropdown ID, which we gave it to the JavaScript over here, entry dropdown. So that's a variable for us already. Entry dropdown. Then we're gonna dot, because it's like an object, the value like we did before. That's what I want, is give me the value from it, and then assign it, and assign that result to a target ID variable. Okay, so that's what you want. Let target ID that, and you want specifically concatenation, because otherwise I know it's not gonna work. I know you're not gonna do that. Oh, but it's gonna be this way, because I don't think it's gonna work otherwise. So this is what you want. Yep, figure. Now you need to target the input container element within the element that has your target ID. So whatever you put over here, it will turn it into an ID. IDs are lowercase though, but okay, we'll get to that later. Declare a new, target input container. Oh my God. Target container variable, assign it the value of document.query selector, and it's gonna find all queries. Okay. Use concatenation to separate target, concatenate to separate target ID and input with a space, and pass that to the query selector. So over here we'll put the target ID. Target ID. Oh no, actually, yeah. Actually, target ID because it already gives me string. Okay. You want and to concatenate and then an input and dot input container with a space with a space. Oh, because then that way it would target both and pass that string to the query. Okay, so that's it. Just pass it. Okay, so it works like a class. You can pass two. You pass the target ID and what is the import container class. Okay, import container class, legend breakfast. Oh, okay. Okay, so for the ID breakfast, you're gonna pass the import container, which is the div over here. Whatever is there, you're gonna pass that. Okay. Understood. Understood, Capitan, Capitan. Okie dokie. JavaScript has a feature called template literals, which allow you to interpolate variables directly within a string. Template literals are okay with the back as opposed to single and double quotes. Variables can be passed into a template literal by surrounding the variable with the $ and then the little squarely brackets. The value of the variable will be inserted into. Okay, yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, something like this. Name, you pass name, yeah. Temp template literal. Oh, templates. Okay, yeah. Okay. This console will show a string. Hello, my name is Naomi. It is not. Replace your concatenated string in the query selector with that template literal. Be sure to keep the space between your target ID. Okay, I see what you're saying. So we're gonna do the little tiki tiki, tiki tiki, and then we're gonna pass it the actual thing. We're gonna remove unnecessary thing, and we're gonna keep the and then that's it. That's what they want. Why is there? Okay, I am missing something. Query selector. So you want me to delete this real quick and then add it? Oh, because this is also a variable. Oops. Forgot. This is also dot. But what am I? Oh, oops. That's what is going on. Never mind. I pooped the panole. That and then this is not. This is literally just part of the string. And then get it for English. There you go. That's what I wanted. Confused a little uh, backtick with the other thing. Thanks to template literals, you actually don't need to target. You don't need a target ID variable at all. Remove that variable and update your template literal to replace target ID with entry dropdown dot value. Remember to add before that in the string. So I don't need, oh, because this just converted, but I can just with entry you you actually don't need target because you were gonna add it together before, okay? But now you just do this and then you just add the entry drop down dot value. Okay, you're just gonna add this, I guess, to it. Then put that on the front. Is that what you mean? You should remove the target ID. Okay, we don't need target ID. So yep, that's what you meant. Bloop. You will want to number the entries a user adds. To get all the number inputs, you can use query selector all method. The query selector all method returns a node list of all the elements that match the selector. You will want to number the entries, okay? A node list is an array-like object. You can access the elements using bracket notation. Declare and let entry number variable entry number a variable and give it the value of target input container dot query selector all. Okay. Target input container, that one. Query selector all. Query selector all. Okay, I'm a little like drawing a blank of what's going on. Each entry will have a text input for the entry's name and a number input for the calories. Okay, to get a count of the number of entries, you can query by text inputs. Pass the string input, type text to the query all method. Remember that if you use single quotes for the string, you must also use double quotes within it, or vice versa. Yeah. You will return a node list of all the text inputs in the form. You can then access the length property of the node list to get the number of entries. That I understand. So here you're gonna get input, and we're gonna use type text because they already put it the single quotes. Yep, they put single quotes already. You should pass the string to the query selector all method. You should access the length property of your query selector. So you want to pass it that, and then wow, that's a lot of chaining. So you get a target input container, this container, you find all the input texts, and then find the length. Oh my god. You should pass the string input of, okay, I see what you're saying now. So here you only want one of this. No, I want one. Is that what you mean? Input. Really? Oh my god, I am so lost. I'm gonna have to make sense of this as I go. Now you need to build your dynamic HTML string to add to the web page. Declare a new HTML string variable and assign it an empty template little. Okay. Let HTML string a new variable. Y assign it an entry create an empty this, right? Why are you green? Because not really supposed to be capital at first, but that's what you wanted. Inside your template literal, create a label element and give it the text entry number name. Using your template literal syntax, replace the number with the value of entry number. Okay. Inside your template literal, right? Create a label element. So to create a label element, we do the inner HTML, right? HTML or create. How do I remember we do something. It's create element that you do. Create element. You do this. Create element. Oh, in the Japanese, that's why. Create element and give it a text entry name. Using your text replace with the value of entry number. So entry number. I am so confused. You should have a label element inside your template literal. A label element. You should have a label element, okay? Label. I'm so confused right now. Element and label. Let's try to do that. Okay, so we literally just make a label element. All right. Constant HTML string. So, oh, so I guess this is a specific HTML variable. Huh. So that's why it's green. Oh, that makes sense now. Your element should have the text enter. Okay. So inside this element you have entry number name, right? So that's what it said, right? Yeah, your element should have the text entry that yeah, of course. I just wanted to see if you actually agree that that's what you wanted. And you wanted the, what was it? Entry number. Entry number. Really? Okay, so HTML string, that means you could add HTML things in there and then make it into a string altogether. Whoa! My God. Give your label element a for attribute. Okay. So we're creating HTML within our JavaScript. Why would you do that though? That's a great question. A for attribute with the eds number minus name. where h is the value of the entry dropdown. Okay. So you want, again, to do this. Is that what you mean? Entry dropdown. S is the value of the entry dropdown. Entry dropdown dot value. Dot value. And is the entry number, and then this is entry number. Remember that HTML attributes should be wrapped in double quotes. Yes. That's what you mean? Yeah. Okay. I guess that's why you would do with JavaScript, because otherwise you cannot do this programmatically with different variables to create that. Okay, that makes sense. Add your label element and on a new line in your template string. Okay, add your label element after your label element. Okay, and on a new line, right here, create an input element. Give it a type and input type text placeholder. Okay, placeholder attribute set to name an ID attribute that matches the for attribute of your label. An ID that matches this. And then yeah, okay. So we just created an input element out of nowhere with nothing. Oh yeah, this is only for other stuff. Input there. So you mean like do this, I guess? That and that. We should add an input element on the new line 27 something. So do the same thing. What if I do this? No, it will just change that. That's already been declared. What if I do str? No. Just add it to it, I guess, on a new line. you will do plus, like plus new line, and then plus this. Is that what you mean? Or we just add it here? Why we don't just add it here? We do this, remove this, right? And we just put it all together. So you should add an input. Yes, that's an input. After you label element on a new line in your template tree, so in my template tree, so that's the one what I missed. So on a new line on the 10 right here, so inside, give it a type attribute text, a placeholder attribute set to name, and the attribute that matches that. So I did that. Just that. Yeah. And the input should be in a new line. So it is in a new line. Okay, we're gonna ask for help because I'm not 100% sure. 49. So out of build a calorie counter. Okay. Build a calorie counter. Come on, calorie counter. Step 49. There you go. We got multiple. My code is not working either. So they went on the same literal. The input needs to go on a new line before the second backtick. Yeah, I edited your previous post so the code formats correctly. Okay. The input element is not in the body of the function. Yeah. No, you're mistaken there. You're still making the same mistake. Now it's working. Okay, holder, name, ID. Wow, it's not working for you. Oh, this is not a literal. Is that what I'm doing too? Oops. This needs to be an actual literal or it won't work. Right? No, but it works for the label. Yeah, it works for the label, so still fine. Put what did he put? Input type test name ID. Yeah. Really? It's just literally like a new line. Literally, that's oh my god. So all I was missing was the backtick, and oh my god. So I kind of did figure it out. It's just little stupidity on my part, I guess. Create another label element on a new line at the end of your HTML string. Create another label. This label should have the text enter calories using your template literal syntax to replace that and that. Okay, and that and that. Okay. Create another label on a new line. So, okay, label on a new line of this. Yeah, yeah. You have the text entry calories. Entry calories. Calories when the hashtag has is replaced by the number. So the hashtag is replaced by the number. That we already have that. And for the edge, whatever calories, where edge is the value. So edge is the value. That would be, it is value, okay, of entry dropdown. Yes, it's fine. And number is the value of entry number. The value of entry number. Just like we had before. No, okay. Entry dot entry dot number dot value. Is that what you mean? No. You just entry number. Yeah. So use entry number. Okay. New labels. You have a for set to entry. Yeah. For set to entry drop down dot value. And the time. And then the entry number. Calories. Ooh, I forgot here. Calories. Forgot to move that. Calories. Oh yeah, because the other one has name. Okay. Still, your new label should have the text entry. Yes. Then entry number. Oh, capital. My God. Calories. What? 51. Only 30 more to go. Actually, let's see.